So I wanted to come live with just kind of a go with the flow session, see what's here just as far as what's showing up in our bodies, breath, movement, just taking whatever we've got, however you're showing up, and letting it be what it is, bringing it to the mat, bringing it to your special spot on the floor. You don't have to have a mat. There's many times when I know I need to move my body and I don't have my stuff with me, and I just find a spot where I'm not knocking into things, and I try to intuitively move. And intuitively meaning kind of just feeling what's there. What do I have showing up? How can I move that? How can I lean into that a little bit and see if I can give a stretch, feel some opening, doing it with uh, grace and compassion, which kind of then helps me to cultivate some curiosity, and then slowly that connectedness with the body. So when we've got things going on, when we've got the pain, when we've got discomfort, we want to pull away from that. And really, it's there to give us information so that we can show up and take care of ourselves. And maybe that taking care of ourselves is incorporating somebody else to help us with that, a friend, a loved one, um, a doctor. And maybe it's just something that we can lean into and work with on our own. If we don't create the space, if we don't take the time to sit with ourselves and see what's there, then we don't know what we're working with. And we take that don't know what this is, don't kind of really know ourselves, and we interject that into our relationships. And that causes complications. Because if we don't know what we're bringing, how can we truly be available and aware to take in what somebody else is bringing and to show up in a way that we can be available for ourselves, for somebody else, to make to make an intelligent response versus just reacting in the moment. So the key to the knowing ourselves is on a daily basis taking that time to check in, and that checking in can look like just sitting with yourself and breathing. That checking in can be doing some movement. So let's do both of those. All right, let's start just by sitting here and checking in with what's here. What are you bringing? What is in this body and in this head? Because as we check in with our breath, the breath can give us information about our mind, and our mind reflects our breath reflects our mind. So if you'll go ahead and take one hand and place it on your lower belly and one hand on your chest, and just feel what's here. I want to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or another option would be just to narrow your gaze down to a particular spot. Kind of bring it all in. And as you take the things out of your vision, as you narrow down or shut the eyes down, you're able to go a little bit more inside to what's there, what's showing up, what you're feeling. Just as I keep kind of talking to you in this place, just noticing how your hands are moving. Notice if one hand is moving faster than the other. This is just a way to take information in. place for you to be curious and to have an awareness of how the breath is moving. So once you start to notice what the body's doing with the breath, that can give you information about your head, your mind. A fast breath often will indicate a racing mind or an anxious mind. And the slower the breath, the more relaxed the mind. So it's just a great way to slow down for a moment and kind of take inventory of what's going on inside you. This can be done anywhere, anytime. So let's say you want to make some changes to what's going on with your mind, your breath. A way to do that is to become intentional about your breathing. And that intentionality looks like you are focusing on taking that breath in. You're choosing in this moment, instead of just letting it happen, because your body just automatically does that, right? We have this autonomic nervous system that helps our body run without us even having to think about it. And the breath is the one thing that we can use to control that. So when the racing is happening, when the faster breath, the faster, harder breath is happening, that indicates that our nervous system is in that keyed up place, active, on, ready to respond. That's great if that's what you need in the moment, right? That's an amazing thing about our bodies, is that it will do that automatically when it senses danger, or when it senses, when we sense the need to help, to respond, take care of something. It's that activation that automatically comes on. That's great. Now, if that's on and that's not what's needed in the moment, then we're activated and ramped up for no reason. And the idea is to come into that other side, that rest and digest side, where we're accessing the parasympathetic system to allow the body to relax, so that we can go from one to the other. We're not staying in either place all the time. And the breath is what allows us to change that. That's where our choice can come in. We can choose to sit and focus on what we're feeling, take a little inventory, notice what's here for us. And then again, we can choose to make a change by intentionally breathing, changing that breath. So taking a big deep breath in to where you feel it all the way down in the belly. That belly protrudes out. You feel it come up into the chest fills, the belly's out, the chest is big and lifted, maybe all the way up into the shoulders. And then as you exhale that, you feel it come down, the shoulders drop, the chest deflate, the belly pull in towards the spine. So you keep working with that breath. You're intentionally thinking about, I'm filling my belly up. I'm filling my chest cavity up. I feel full. And then I release and I let it out. I relax. I let that breath escape out. The chest deflates, the belly button pulls in. And you do it again. Intentionally. Keep doing that with your breath, filling up. And I just want to invite you to do it through your nose. The breath going through your nose activates that vagus nerve that runs down through your body and connects to every major organ. So you're literally activating and nourishing that nerve as you drawing that air in through the nose and down through the body. Of course, if your nose is plugged up, please breathe through your mouth. That's kind of a given. And if you at all can take air in through your nose, I want you to try that. So just even breathing, about a 4 count in with your breath, and then about a 4 count out, we'll start to stabilize, right? We'll start to regulate and bring some stability to where you're at. If that's all that you can do in the moment, that's enough right there. And then to really invoke that relaxation response, start to try to lengthen the exhale so that it's longer than the inhale. So think about, if it helps with numbers, I like to think about drawing the air in for about a 4 count. And then I'm going to exhale out and think about exhaling for a count of 5. And the next time you draw in again for 4. Now this time exhale out for 6. And then again draw in for 4. And then maybe exhale out for 7. And you keep working with that breath and exhaling it out to whatever degree works for you. Maybe it takes a while to build up your capacity. It's, you're practicing. You don't step right into this intentional breathing, just knowing exactly how to do it and feeling comfortable with it. It's a practice. It's not soccer, um, I'm not even saying this right. It's not that you step right into something knowing how. You don't step into soccer knowing how to play. You go to soccer practice, to learn how to play soccer, right? So same with anything that you do. If it's something that you haven't been doing, and please keep breathing and practicing while I'm talking, you've got to give yourself grace and allow for time to learn, allow for time to practice, allow for it to be something that can just start showing up to where you feel like you can welcome it in. You can pull it in and allow it to be there like a good friend who's come to visit you, that you're welcoming it in, you're welcoming the breath, you're welcoming whatever's showing up for you here in this moment. And that takes practice. You're usually not best friends with somebody right overnight, right? So even like a friendship, it takes cultivating, cultivating this relationship with yourself, cultivating a relationship with your breath, cultivating a relationship with what your body is in the moment, accepting it right where it's at. So if you're on here, you've gone through Warrior Path, right? And in a Warrior Path, you were taught the 4-7-8 breath. And I'm not, what the breathing that I was just talking about is not negating the 4-7-8, right? The 4-7-8, great breath, and it activates that relaxation response. It's that breathe in, it's that hold, it's that exhale, and then it's come back to that breath in. I'm just going back to a simpler stage of that breathing, of just that breath in and that breath out. And then that exhaling is activating, again, that relaxation response the longer that you exhale. And then as you're lengthening that exhale, there starts to be that space of that holding in there, right? There's that inhale. And then as you're exhaling it, there can be that hold before. Maybe it's that you exhale out and you hold at the end of that exhale before you take your breath in, and you play with it and you find what works for you. It's not a hard and fast, it has to look 4-7-8, or it has to be you breathe in for 4 and you exhale out for 6, or you exhale out for 8. It's how can I make this work for me? How will this show up for me? And the biggest part of it is just making that exhale longer than the inhale. And that's where that allows the body to release it all and to be there in this place of relaxation. It's the releasing and the letting go that allows that relaxation to happen. It's the inhaling, that inhale of that breath that is an activating, right? And so then you want the the deactivation, the relaxing, the releasing to be that longer part. All right. I had that in there that I wanted to share with that with the breathing. I really hope that if the breathing practice isn't something that you have incorporated into your life on a daily basis, that this is something you'll consider to start to just make it a little bit more a part of your life, to be curious about how it can show up. That it's not just something that you have to make a pointed time to sit down and do, that it's always there for you. Your breath is always with you, and it is always that thing that you have a choice to activate in a different way, to change, right? You have that choice and that ability. And that breath is that key to the nervous system, to the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system that you get to turn, right? You get to unlock. And it's also that amazing thing that keeps going on its own, that keeps us alive and moving, living and breathing on our own. Okay, that being said, this breath that you've got moving in you, let's go ahead and take it into some movement and just get our bodies stretching and moving a little bit. Okay, so keeping that breath going to where you feel that inhale expanding the belly, expanding the chest, really filling all the way up as full as you can get. And then that exhale where you're relaxing, releasing, your belly's caving in because all the air is going out and you're squeezing every last bit of air out. It's kind of fun to play with sometimes if you just sitting there and seeing how full you can get and then seeing how empty you can get. Now, when we take that with our movement, we want to maybe, narrow that down just a little bit because, well, you don't have to. I was going to say, your movement then may want you to breathe just a little bit faster, but you're still, trying to get all that air out as you fold, as you drop, as you relax, you release, you let go. All right, I'm going to stop talking. Go ahead and come to your hands and knees. Noticing the breath. Again, through your nostrils if you're able. Stacking your joints. So we protect our body. We are trying to create a safe environment for our body by supporting it, right? Supporting the joints. Stacking them, not putting all the weight just on one particular joint. You always have your forearms instead of being up on your wrists, right? So as you're breathing in, lifting the chin and lifting the tail, dropping the belly, and then as you're exhaling, rounding that back, tucking the chin, tucking the tail. So feel that big in-breath, filling up the belly, dropping the belly down, lifting that head up, lifting the tail. And then that big exhale, emptying all of the air as you round, tucking the chin. You're tucking that belly button up into your spine because it's released all the air. Now big breath in, roll up again. Big breath out, round the spine, tucking. 2 more, breath in and lift. Breath out and round. 1 more breath in, come to a flat back. Use that breath out, tucking the toes under, pressing the legs up into that upside down V. This is full expression. Remember, you can always modify. Your modification looks like however it needs to look for you. That could be forearms, it could be knees. However you're here, if you're up on your feet, you can pedal the heels towards the ground. If you're on your knees, you can give like a little bit of a shift from side to side. Keep breathing in and breathing out. Make it work for you. Make it feel good in your body. Take one more big breath in. As you exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet till you're standing there in a forward fold. Breathe in to come up halfway. So you have a 90-degree angle. Really pull forward out of the crown of the head. As you exhale, fold deep. Drop your head, a little bend to your knees. Just let the whole upper body fold forward. The arms dangle out of the shoulders. And breathe. Bring your chest in towards your thighs. So however much of a bend you need to give your knees to allow that. And maybe that doesn't even happen, right? Maybe there's a big space there and that's just how your body is. You're getting to whatever point works for you. You're finding your place in between not enough and too much. Maybe rotating your head here a little bit. Nice and gentle on the neck. Feeling both feet really connected to the ground. Or maybe it's one foot for you. And breathe in and come up halfway. Breathe out. Take the arms out like airplane wings. Next big inhale, really press into the feet to start to rise up. Let that inhale really lift you up, stretch overhead. Then stay here and exhale. Connect with the ground with your feet. Breathe in, reach up. Stay and breathe out. So as you're breathing in, feel that breath come up through the feet, up the legs, up the body, through the fingertips. Stay here and let that air go back down through the arms, the torso, the legs, the feet. And again, imagine that breath. Breathe in all the way up through your body, out your fingertips. Exhale, taking the hands down towards the ground, slowly pressing down. Take a breath in to roll your shoulders back. Take a breath out to roll your shoulders forward. Come to a standing place right here, feeling your body standing here in this place, in this moment. Notice the breath moving through your body. Belly extending out as you breathe in. And then exhale, release that air, pull that belly button towards the spine. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. You're going to hinge at your hips so that your upper body comes forward, stretched out, arms stretching, dropping down. Inhale, come up halfway. With your exhale, walk your hands forward, coming into that high plank position. Take a breath in. Stay here and exhale. You always have your knees and your forearms. Breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower down. Use that whole exhale, resisting gravity, drop down. Hands underneath your shoulders. Untuck your toes so the tops of your feet hit the ground. Breathe in to press up into that baby back bend. Your personal degree right here. Exhale to touch down. 4 more of these. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out to touch down. Breathe in to come up, playing with that height every time, right? Breathe out to come down. 2 more. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out to come down. We're going to take a little detour, release the arms down by the sides, arms and legs lift up, and keep breathing. You can really feel the belly against the ground here. Take your arms out like airplane wings. Reach them forward like a superhero. Back out like airplane wings. Arms down your sides. Breathe in, lift up a little more. Breathe out to slowly release, putting the hands back underneath your shoulders. Here's your last cobra. Breath in to press up. And stay here and exhale. 4 more breaths in and out. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Elbows in by your sides. If the intensity is too much on your low back, you can take your legs a little wider. You can release down a little more. Maybe you came up too high to begin with. 1 more breath in. Exhale, come all the way down. From here, go to that high plank and upside down V. Feel what's here for you as you breathe in and breathe out. Another breath in and breath out. Go ahead and drop that right knee down to the mat. Spin that left foot flat so it's lengthened out behind you. Leaning into that right hand. You always can come down to that forearm. You can even come down to the right hip. Reaching that left hand up. Really anchoring the left foot. Opening across your chest. Stretching those fingertips towards the ceiling. So just finding that edge with all of your parts, right? Really finding the edge that you can lean into. It's not too much. If you feel it's too much, if something starts hurting, something starts feeling like you're about to fall over that edge, you need to step back a little bit. You need to shift and change something. Breathe in to reach up. Breathe out to take that arm overhead. You have an option to kind of bend that elbow, pull the arm back towards your body a little bit. That's always an option. Feeling what's showing up in your body, honoring it, and shifting and adjusting as you need to. Staying with it, feeling it, being curious about what it's telling you, but then identifying what you need to do to meet yourself right where you're at. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring that hand down. Shift and face the mat with your body. Lift that left leg. Lift that left leg up out behind you. Right hand reaches forward. You can rotate that right wrist here. That felt good to me, so I'm just rotating it around. It felt kind of stiff, right? I'm really pressing out of that left foot like I'm pressing against a wall. You can even be up against a wall, and that could help with that pressing. You can stay like this, or you can take your limbs out to the sides. So this is a little bit more intense, right? Pulling that left hand and right knee towards each other, engaging the core. Just staying forward and back with your limbs, lifting up, breathing in. Exhale, set them down. You take your knees out to whatever degree you want towards the edges of the mat. We're going to shift down into that child's pose, big toes coming towards each other, hips sinking towards the heels, arms stretching out. Your elbows can be bent, the arms can pull in towards your body, your knees can come in closer to each other underneath your body. That takes some of that intensity off your low back. The forehead could touch the ground, or you can be lifted up and on your forearms. You could maybe have a block or a rolled up towel underneath your forehead. Checking in with yourself, noticing your breath. Maybe the breath has increased a little bit as we've been moving. That makes sense. The increase. Come back to the inhale, the exhale, noticing the breath moving through your body, being right here with whatever's showing up. Whatever's here for you, you've got it. Like one breath at a time, right? There's nothing in this moment that you can't be with for one breath. And that might even be coming out of the pose. Like, I'm done. Yep, you come out, you take a breath and come out. And you sit with it and you keep breathing. You sit with what's showing up. The fact that you came out of the pose is going to bring things up for you. Physically, mentally, emotionally. You honor it and be with it. And then you identify what you need to do. Do you need to stop the practice? Do you need to come back to it later? Do you need to keep moving through this with us? You have a choice in this moment. A choice in how you show up, your attitude and your effort, right? Go ahead and slowly start to come back up to that tabletop as you breathe in. Stay here and exhale. Taking your breath in, tuck those toes under. Use your exhale to press up into that upside down V. Using that breath to be here with whatever's showing up. Big inhale. Exhale, drop that left knee down, spin that right foot flat. Really lean into that left hand. Open the right hand up to the ceiling. Anchoring with that right foot. Maybe rotating the hands, stretching upward. Pulling that upper shoulder back, opening across the chest. Keep breathing. Big breath in as you stretch up. Breath out as you reach that arm overhead. Again, what do you need here in this moment? What takes care of you here? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring that hand down. Right leg up, pressing back behind you, maybe even pressing against a wall. Left hand reaching forward, right hand, left knee pulling towards each other. Engage that core. Rotate that left wrist. Notice the breath. Maybe take the limbs out to the sides if you want to try a little extra here. Keep breathing. When we move into something new, when we do something more intense, holding the breath is natural, normal, something that we automatically do. Notice if you're doing that and just come back to that in and out breathing. Inhale, lift the limbs up. Exhale, set them down. And go back into that cat and cow pose again. So inhale, letting that belly fill up and drop down as you lift the chin and lift the tail. Exhale, rounding the spine. Sucking it up in as the breath leaves your body. Inhale, the belly drops and fills. Lifting the chin, lifting the tail. And exhale, rounding that spine, tucking the chin and tail. Breath into a flat back. Breath out to that upside down V. Breathing in as you press down and forward with the palms of your hands or your forearms. Breathing out as you press out of the backs of your legs. Drop to your knees. You're going to cross those ankles and roll over onto your back. Squeeze the knees into your chest. Little rocking side to side. Release, planting that right foot down. Take that left ankle across the top of the right thigh. Yes, we're getting into that right hip. So your right foot is really planted, knee bent. Left ankle across. You've got a hole, you're going to reach through that hole and then around the outside. So this, you might need a towel or a strap to extend your arms. However you're holding on, see if you can allow that upper body to lay back down and to just really be in the legs and the hips. Oh, I think I said that we were stretching the right hip. We're actually stretching the left hip. So again, when you're feeling intense sensations, we can tend to hold the breath, make sense. You feel something and it's like, ugh. It's a way of like trying to stop it or push up against it. So notice if you do that and see if you can start to be a little bit more open with the breath, letting the breath flow, and then allowing that to literally flow down into that intense place, noticing that it's there, being with it, being curious about why it's so intense, staying with that. You know, we can send our breath to certain places in our body, right? So wherever our attention is, there our breath goes. So taking our attention and our thoughts to that stiff, achy place in the left hip. And as you breathe in, you're drawing your breath to your attention. And then imagine as you breathe out, you're letting that exhale take some of that tension out with it. So again, drawing that breath in to that place and then exhaling some of that tension out. Being with those feelings, knowing you can breathe and be with it. Like you can be here and be okay while feeling something intense. One breath at a time. Maybe noticing some other parts in your body that don't have that intense feeling. So that intense feeling can be there, and you can have parts that don't feel that way. You are not just that feeling. You are not just that intensity. You are more than that. You are parts of you that are lying here not being a part of that intense feeling. All right, so go ahead and release that right leg straight down the mat. Squeeze that left knee in. Give it a big kind of tug in. Then take your right hand to that left kneecap and take it across your body. We're going to give you a whole body twist here. So lower half of your body is going to the right. The upper half, you're opening that left arm out. You're turning your head towards the left. And you're breathing. You're feeling that twist, you're feeling that stretch. And slowly make your way to your back as you take a breath in. You're already set up to go ahead and keep that left knee bent. Exhale, plant that left foot down. Now take that right ankle across the top of the left thigh. Keep breathing. Right arm through the hole. Left hand around the outside. Allow your upper body to relax down. Feel the stretch happening in that right hip. You can use a towel, a strap, something to extend your arms so that your upper body gets to lay back. Maybe you also want a towel under your neck or some kind of a cushion. But this is about really just getting into that right hip, noticing the sensation, breathing into it. So again, we can direct our breath to particular places in our body. When you're feeling an intense sensation, think about that place, imagine it, draw that breath in, and pull it all the way down to where you're feeling, you're imagining, you're seeing that place. And then as you exhale, release some of that tension out. Breathe into that place. Breathe some of that tension out. Breathe into that place. Breathe some of that tension out. Now keep breathing and find another place in your body where you don't feel that tension. And just notice it. Be grateful for the parts of your body that work in a different way, that don't have that intensity, that big sensation right now. Noticing that you are more than a pain that you have. You are a body that does so much even in the midst of the sensations, the discomfort that it's feeling. Big breath in. As you exhale, release that left leg. Squeeze that right knee up into your chest. Take your left hand to that right kneecap. And you're taking that knee across your body. So we're doing that whole body twist. Lower part of your body goes to the left. Upper part of your body opens to the right. I got a nice pop in my low back. Chiropractic adjustments are free. Yay. And that being said, just moving slow, being careful, right? So just because I said I popped and it felt good doesn't mean that there's always going to be a pop that it's going to feel good, right? So just being careful, being aware, giving yourself some grace, taking it slow. Breathing through that nose if you're able. Slowly shifting to your back, squeezing that right knee in. Squeeze the left one up, so both knees squeeze in. You give yourself a big hug. See if you can really curl up and hug in to whatever degree you're able, right? One more big squeeze, breath in. And then exhale, letting all the air out, stretch open. Fingertips and toes going in opposite directions. Use a big breath to stretch out. Use your exhale to relax down into your final resting place. And then get as comfortable as you can here. Maybe lift up the shoulders, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, and then relax down. That just opens your chest a little bit. Your arms can be out from your sides, palms up and open, or maybe it feels better to turn your palms down and really ground in here. Notice the tension leaving your body. Allow your breath to just go back to a natural place where it's in and out and you're not intentionally thinking about it. You're not intentionally directing that in and out. It's just doing what it does. Feel the relaxation in your body, the releasing of the movement, the releasing of the tension. See if you can let yourself be just 10% more relaxed here. What does that look like? You are welcome to stay here in this place for as long as you want. Soak in the energy that you created, soaking in the time that you've taken for yourself, the connection with your body, the curiosity you cultivated and how you were showing up and what was here for you. And in that curiosity, the compassion you began to have for yourself, the connectedness you created by being curious and compassionate. Just noticing how you showed up for yourself, how you engaged maybe with something that's not comfortable for you. That's courage. That is courage. Give yourself a pat on the back for that, for just being here, for taking care of you, for not knowing how this might look or go, and yet trying it anyway. Staying here if you want, turning me off, enjoying some quiet, or going ahead and sitting up. Feel your sit bones connecting with the ground, and then sit up tall from there. Find that sense of dignity in your body. Keep your hands in your lap and bring them to your heart center. Feeling a sense of gratitude inside you for the time that this was, whatever this was for you. Finding just that sense of gratitude for it, for your body, for where you're at right now. I'm honored to be able to do this, to be able to share this with you. Just know that the light in me sees and honors the light in each one of you. Taking a breath in together. Exhale. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, be well.